Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Greetings, internet people.
Welcome to another episode of HEARNS at Home. So
Yes,
quite a few people watching us, and it's a new format, as you can see. There's 4 of us here today.
Yeah, thanks to
Bit
lockdown.
nostalgic.
Very much so. Very much so. Okay, so you have Tony coming online. So I think he's one of the first for Brett and Warwick from home from memory. I don't think we've seen it before. And BJ's cat is new to this too.
Yes, yes. Quite enjoying it.
Very good. So, BJ, what's new?
Oh, quite a few things are new, I guess. I've got a few new items sitting around here. I've got a few of my projects that I've got from home too that I'll show off. And I think Warwick's probably got a few things that he's been working on too.
Yeah.
Some cool things.
Projects.
Always into the projects. Yeah, we've got some slot cars. We've got some plastic kits. We may have some train stuff. I think actually Marlin is probably going to come along as well.
Yeah, now. Yes. And we may have a guest as well later on today talking about slot cars. So surprise, surprise. So maybe Travis is going to join us. We'll see what happens. So who wants to start first tonight? Who wants to talk about something new?
Come on, Beige.
Me? You want me to start? I can start.
Yeah.
All right.
Come
What
on,
we got?
Captain Projects.
Yeah.
Come on.
You want to see projects? All right. Okay.
Show us your stuff.
How about? This is something that I've probably shown a few times, but it's about time that I got into it again. So this is one of the Mac kits that I started building for the Model Expo. So unfortunately, last year's was cancelled. Then this year's one's been postponed until later. So it's going to be on in October. So I thought it was about time I got onto this again. I haven't really touched it much in a year, but it's a Mac suit which I've modified. So I guess once it's together, it'll be a bit like this. And it's got a servo in the back, which is going to automatically open the front of the suit. So once I've got it all timed up, you'll see here. So I've got quite a bit of modification on the back here. See all these parts that I've added. Now we'll take this off. This is actually hiding the servo, which I've just got the back here. Okay, so the whole idea is, now you notice that this front section is open, so that'll open separately as well. Got a little cable here. If I can still work out what I'm doing. No, maybe not. So once it's all operating, it's going to automatically open like so, like that. And I'll just flip open. And then after a moment of time, it'll pull itself tight again, and this will close as well. So quite a bit more work involved. There's going to be some LED lights I'm going to put inside as well. And then I was thinking about some sort of smoker unit to get some steam coming out when I open it up, but I think that's probably going a bit too far. But I've got, another 3 months to go. So hopefully we can get that all finished. So over here, I've just got the legs in place. There's a couple of fine brass tubes, which I've got protruding here. So I've got a pull rod here, which has already been put inside, and it's come out on the side there. So as you can see, I've bent the tube here. That sort of goes back to a tutorial that we've got on YouTube as well that shows you how to easily bend brass tube. And well, I guess that's pretty much the state of my project for Model Expo is anyway, for the moment. So we'll have a bit more progress in the next month or so.
Fantastic.
Very good.
So looking forward to pulling an all-nighter the night before, Beach.
I think you have to. I mean, the last couple of expos have done an all-nighter. So, you know, there's always something to do. You're never quite satisfied. And then, you know, for me, the finish time is the time you got to pack it up and stick it in the car. So we'll keep going until the last night. Are you going to do that work too?
No.
Come on.
I left my
20 kits ready.
My university days behind a long time ago.
Very good. So Warwick, you're working on something as well, I believe, are you?
Yeah, look, I'm working on, I don't know, about 7 things at the moment. But yeah, I'm just sort of I'm just finishing up a one of the Bandai Digimon kits, which I'm quite fond of. This is my second one. And I've just started what I lovingly refer to as a palette cleanser project, which is just a simple master grade, which I'm just doing on a whim, going wherever it decides to take me, and not thinking too hard about it, not putting any pressure on myself. So yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm in the middle of I'm machining Krieger Croat, which I haven't touched for a while. It's got a winter whitewash, so that's going to be sort of a muddy, slushy, wintry kind of vignette for that. And a few other unmentionables. But yeah, the big one at the moment is the Digimon Metalgarurumon. How am I going to do this?
That looks pretty epic, doesn't it?
That's impressive. So, I guess this is the quiz for tonight. What animal is this? A cat, a dog, a dinosaur? What can it be? Let's see if anyone can comment on what animal this could be.
It looks pretty angry.
It definitely does.
It's not happy.
The big screen.
It's not happy. Someone's stolen its dinner or something. I don't know. Look, I've had a lot of fun with it. Basically, I've kind of used it really just as a vehicle for my vinyl cutter, which I got mid last year because I wanted to do some stencils and try some different paint effects. And he's mostly painted with SMS lacquers, the sort of the color shifting variety. See if I can attempt. Does that work? I don't know. Is that better or worse? I'm winging it. Literally.
Don't drop it.
Yeah. Scary.
Looks
Scary
pretty solid.
thing. Look, it's got so much articulation. It's got so much articulation, it's ridiculous. Like, crazy. Like, you can make it bend in half. Like, it's kind of a bit nutty. But yeah, it is pretty solid, very posable. Good size. It's got really good presence on the really good shelf presence, which is kind of cool. So it just took a little bit longer than I anticipated. I've still got a little bit to go, but it's sort of mostly there.
Pretty impressed with what effect you've been able to get with the transparent wings.
I just got carried away.
How many hours are in that, Warwick?
Sorry, say again, Bex.
How many hours would you have tied up in that?
I'm breaking up a little bit.
Sorry, how many hours have you spent making that?
I think we're losing Warwick for a moment. But
yeah, he's in frozen mode, I think.
Meanwhile, I think we've got a few. First of all, Matt is coming online. Hello, Matt.
I'm not frozen for me.
Matt is normally running the computer in the office when we do the actual normal live.
The proper live.
The proper live. And we have quite a few suggestions on what this could be. Is a wolf. We have a wolf again. A disco dog. That's pretty cool.
COVID dragon.
Disco dog.
Disco dog is a winner. So we have a COVID dragon as well. That could be
COVID dragon.
a possibility. What else? Have I missed any?
Madam COVID.
And then Ian is suggesting that BJ's cat is waiting for food. Hello, Ian. We haven't seen nothing in the last few lives, so welcome back.
Cats are always
I'm going
waiting.
to try to bring in Marlin, actually. Let me see if I can add him. There we go. One more. All right. Everyone is here. So,
hey, Miles.
This is a special live, I guess, for those that are watching us from, I don't know, overseas or from other states. Obviously, Melbourne is in lockdown, so we're all stuck at home. So we are back to do our HEARNS at home live. We did 12 in the past lockdown, and this is the first and hopefully the only one we do during this lockdown. So we're all from home. We're trying to bring a different format tonight. So everyone will have a bit of a show on what we have, what projects we're doing, and we have some products too, some slotcasts that we're going to show you in a little bit.
Mhm.
So, yeah, who wants to come up next?
Well, I'll show what I've been working on.
Go for
Yes.
it.
Well, I've been working on a GT8 for young Thomas at work. Now, this is as far as I'm into it.
Are you doing it for Tom?
Sorry?
You're doing it for Tom? I didn't realise.
Yeah, building this one up for Tommy. And we've got a bit of hype around it again, which is really nice. So the Bendigo On-Road Club has put their hand up to let us come trial out doing a club race there, which is going to be fantastic. So yeah, so we've released the HEARNS exclusive package on pretty much a ready to run or ready to race package for one, which can save yourself hundreds. But in the meantime, yeah, I thought I'd take the opportunity to build up Tommy's for him and get it ready to break out of lockdown when we are. So yeah, doesn't look like much, but yeah, so that's where I'm up to so far. There's a couple hours invested in that, not heaps and heaps yet. We've got a few shocks and diffs and so forth. All yeah, awaiting the assembly process. So yeah, it's coming along very nicely.
That's brilliant. So,
Yeah,
so
Is anyone
I
left?
guess
sorry,
the GT.
the GT.
This is the GT,
The
the
power
same
of
that
the
we run
Australian
in
internet.
Metalgarurumon, actually.
Yeah. So this is like the GT8. This is the Hot Bodies GT8, like the one that we took to the velodrome recently, and we've had out at Lilydale a time now, and out at the local clubs too to have a burn around. And yeah, it was great fun, wasn't it? So with the velodrome coming up soon, we'll have at least one more GT8 there now to try and break some sort of land speed record, I suppose. We'll have fun trying.
We want to go fast.
Well, that's the aim of the game, isn't it? And while I'm talking GT8, I may as well get straight into a new product that we had. Can I do that?
Yes,
Now,
go for it.
This isn't going to show up very well on the camera, but this is the new Biddy Design Hyper GT8 body. So this is a new racing inspired shell, as opposed to the 765 that Biddy Design released previously, which is more of a scale take on GT. This is meant to be more of a performance touring car inspired racing shell. So I'm sure once that's all cut and trimmed up and painted will look fantastic. But it's got all sorts of aerodynamic foils and aids and reinforcement ribs on it to really to make it pop and perform well on track. So we're looking forward to getting that painted and fitted up and ready for some action.
Absolutely. So I think that was going to be another perfect body for the velodrome.
Yeah, well, we might use. we might use the old one for velodrome and keep this one for track racing. We'll see, because one of them's going to have to be cut up a bit severely, isn't it?
So what's the biggest difference with the body for track? Has it got more windscreen?
The main differences I think between this body and the hyper body and the 765 is the 765 is a bit more scale, so it's a little bit more realistic looking, I suppose. So a little bit more proportional and stuff like that. Where this one's, I think, purely designed more out of a wind tunnel and for pure performance. So it may not be as scale aesthetically, but performance-wise, it should perform better on track. But it's to be seen yet. But Biddy Design never make an ugly race car body.
Yeah,
never.
No, they always look good.
It's a very good point, actually. Biddy Design, among all other manufacturers, always trying to put some good style on all their body shells for the touring car. In the last few years, the touring car body have changed shape a lot, and they become less and less realistic-looking cars. And still, BT have managed to put some nice details to them to make them still look as realistic as you can possibly do while trying to chase the performance.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the sort of like the Italian way, isn't it? Is to make something look as beautiful as it is functional. So
yes,
look at marquees such as Ferrari, it's all regarded as the most beautiful cars in the world. So they definitely put, aesthetics and beauty right up there with form and function as well.
Yes.
So yeah, so looking forward to getting that out there anyway. So GT8 is back on the cards and going again. So I've been posting a few pictures on Facebook of the build. We'll probably continue to do so over the weekend as I put some more time into it during lockdown, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Absolutely. So Ian is asking if the new Hyper HR from BT Design Bodies coming too. So that's a new release.
Yeah, that is a new release.
So that's coming as well.
Yeah, so that's like a revision on the current Hyper Body, which is the latest release from BT Design. So their current touring car body, performance body, is called a Hyper, and they've released a HR version. I think they're touting it as a high rotational. Is that right? So they're aiming to give it more downforce, but more agility is what they've gone for in the testing and design of this body. So that hasn't landed yet, but I'm sure that it's only going to be a matter of days or a week away. Yeah, it's going to be close.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. That's good. Cool. And okay, we also received some stencils from memory. Did you have any there?
I didn't have any stencils here, Nick. No, I absolutely forgot to get stencils out of everything that we grabbed today.
I think I may have one somewhere, actually.
I thought you had a little collection happening there, Nick.
Here we go.
Oh,
look at that.
And that is one of the star stencils, and that is fantastic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It almost looks like it's moving, like standing still. They've done a really good job there on that stencil.
That is really nice. So we received today, actually yesterday, I think about 10 new of these stencils. We talked about stencils in 1 or 2 lives ago, actually, and share how you can actually use them on other kits and body shells. So Vallejo does one as well. And BT Design has released another series now. So they've got about 20 in their range. This was one that was really popping out from the new ones, and I thought to bring it home. Maybe I can do something this weekend. Don't know. But yeah, there's quite a few new ones. I think Brett has a couple of photos coming up on Facebook over the weekend, on the next few days. So there'll be some quite nice one actually.
Absolutely.
So very good. Looks like you got quite a few people online actually. So that's Bruce. Welcome in. So let's see if anyone has any questions. As usual, that's a different format because there's all of us in here. But if you have questions, we're always here to answer them, obviously. Someone before was asking about Tamiya decals, if it's possible to source Tamiya decals.
Oh, yes. I had a quick reply that I typed back. So Tamiya original decals are really difficult to get, actually. So I guess if it's an aircraft type decal that you need, you'd probably be quicker getting aftermarket ones off the net. But I guess if it's something different, like a car or such, we can always try. It may take a long time though. That's the only problem.
Yes. So Warwick looks like he's having a problem with his internet. It's coming and going, but I thought it's time that we present this guy again.
Oh, look at this guy.
Plugger.
Missing for a while.
What happened to him?
He went for a walk and didn't come back.
Absolutely. We haven't heard it for a while.
We thought that Kevin had him.
Yeah, Kevin was at the front door a few times this week. We thought we'd taken Plugger, but Plugger is back.
Okay.
And this is one of the Warwick's projects actually that we worked last year, early this year, and now it's ready to go. So Plugger comes in a kit like this.
Good.
And there's 2 versions of Plugger. So one is in a static kit. In a static kit like this. So you build it, you paint it, and it's like a static model. And then we have the fully motorized version where you put it on a KATO chassis like this. So that's your standard KATO chassis, and then you pop it over really. And Marlin, I think you're working on something new now, are you?
Yes, yeah, a few things at the moment. That's right.
So what train are you working on?
So I'll show you a little layout project I'm working on.
Cool,
Actually.
go for it.
Oh, cool. Like to see it.
So this is it's going to be a little narrow gauge 009 layout. I've just got the track made.
I was going to have water in the middle there.
I beg your pardon?
It's going to have some water in the middle there, isn't it?
Well,
It's like
yes,
a bit of a
yes.
creek or
Good old
something.
Australian internet is doing us proud again tonight.
Oh, that's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I've just started carving out what's going to be a riverbed, and we're going to put a water mill on it.
Oh, look at that.
So we got a little. It's a Bachmann Syncraft building, so it's all pre-painted, pre-weathered. Quite nice, actually. Really, I really like this kit a lot. So you can see how beautiful detailed that is. Clear glazing on the windows and everything. I thought it would be perfect for a little narrow gauge layout, and it's got little little races with a gate on it for letting the water flow in and into the water wheel. So that'll go on here, and then that will run out like that. Once all the river's done, and we're going to do water effects. And I also had this idea of using tunnel portals as a bridge. So they're just woodland scenic N-gauge tunnel portals. But I thought I'd trim it up, and I got to keep trimming it. And that's going to be a stone arch bridge.
Oh, tricky.
We carve through to the other side.
Yep. It's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun so far. So this is it's all because it's really small and really tight radius curves. It's what they call the crazy track. It's the Pico Flex track, and I've just got that secured down. And you can see we call it the crazy track because it's got all the irregular sleepers.
That's cool.
Quite a neat little effect. So that turned out really good. I've run a few things around it already, but if you guys have any ideas about any kind of scenery that you'd like to see us do, and try out, and we can demonstrate that over the course of the following weeks as we get this finished. And then hopefully we'll have this set up in the shop, and you can come in and have a look. So yeah, that's been pretty busy over the last week and a bit. Another couple of things I'm working on at the moment is I've got my my RC KYOSHO Scorpion.
I want to see that.
Pretty heavily involved in the build with that right now. I've actually got all my plastic bits that needed painting. They're all ready to go. They've got a base coat of black over primer, so they're going to get their final coat on tomorrow before I clear them up. And I've been using the SMS lacquer paints. And I've been airbrushing those, and they've worked really beautifully. And I'm really excited to finally put the on the body of the car, the color I chose. I went for the SMS color shift lava, which is like a red, yellow, gold, kind of really thick metal flake. It comes up really nice in the light. And because that's a polycarbonate body, which is something that I haven't had a lot of experience with before, being a lacquer paint, I've had to use the Flex agent. So if you combine less than 10% of this, no more than 10% of this to this, it gives the paint the right chemical consistency to stick and stay stuck to polycarbonate. And I've actually got a little paint sample because I didn't want to just go ahead and paint it. So I've got this little plastic sheet, and I've got I'll just practice doing some pinstriping using some Tamiya masking tape, some quite thick, flexible tape. And with little 1 millimeter tape doing small pinstripes. And you can see I've actually put like a base coat of that color shift paint on here. From certain angles you can really see it, but what you need to do is you put like a layer of black behind it. So you put this on first, you put the black on behind it, and then that makes this color really pop. So I really want to give it a go. I'll blacken it tomorrow and see how it goes, and if I'm happy with the results, then I will go ahead and actually paint the body on the car. So yeah.
So fun.
Oh, thank you.
That's impressive. Today, so for everyone, Marlin has been doing some design, actually, some 3D design for our HEARNS workshop today. And There will be a few of his product coming up soon, but you were working on a chassis as well. What's your plan there?
So it'll be a friend of Plugger. That's right. I'm working on, so again, going back to the narrow gauge, it's a really great scale for, it's very popular with people who like to do scratch build and kit bash things. And there isn't really a great deal of commercially available product, which is a shame. So we've got this idea that we'll create a range of 3D printed, ready to assemble kits. And I'm working on a chassis that's modular, so it's a 4-wheel chassis at the moment, but it can be made longer. The wheelbase can be extended. You can put a variety of things on top of the chassis, like flat wagons, gondolas, tank wagons. It sort of creates a platform for us to utilize it really for anything, and with very little effort involved in sort of adapting it to different purposes. So working on that, working on a lot of really interesting scenery items that are specific to Australia and Victoria especially. So I'm working on a Telstra themed telephone box, just like the ones that you'd see out anywhere that you'd see a telephone box anywhere these days. But they certainly are out there, and everybody knows that bright orange Telstra dome that's on top of those. So yeah, and it's been a lot of fun. Good.
Well, we are looking forward to see some of this product going live in the next few days. So tomorrow we're going to do some test runs on one of your first on the Telstra box, and then maybe next week we have some results. It'll be really good, actually.
Yes.
So, looking forward to that. Let's see what happens. Cool. Very good. All right. Let's see if anyone has any questions meanwhile here. Have I missed anything? Let me see. Not quite. So let's see if anyone wants to. We've got Slotcast coming up soon. Got a few new Slotcasts we received this week. But as Marlin was suggesting about were you building the Scorpion, Marlin? Did you say?
What was that, Nick?
Which car are you building? Which the KYOSHO car are you building?
Oh, it's the Scorpion.
Scorpion. So today we received the Optima and the Turbo Optima, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is the difference between the two?
Between the two?
Yes.
Well, I guess the Optima, the original Optima was a chain drive, 4-wheel drive. So the re-release Optima comes with the chain drive, of course, then also the optional belt drive, so the smoother method. So that was available as an optional extra from their aftermarket brand, which was called Option House. And then it's got the standard sort of rail type chassis, which was quite revolutionary for the particular time, a very narrow car. The Turbo Optima basically added a few extras. The biggest difference would have been the shocks that were fitted. So it had the big bore gold Option House shocks. And then also the body's a little bit different too. So it's a bit flatter and squatter. So more of a club racer type of look, whereas the original one had more of a original Baja racer type of look. And then the Turbo Optima, I think, from what I can gather, looks like it only comes with a belt drive as standard. So it's full performance out of the box. So it costs a little bit more, but you're getting some great features. And then also some of the aluminium bits have been blinged up too. They're also gold color, like the front skid plate.
Yeah. I just realized that my VQS that I'm building is actually inside the house. I need to go and run and grab it in a second, actually. So we can actually have a look at that. I completely forgot about that was topic of the night. Meanwhile, Warwick is jumping in and out. So looks like Rob is keen on one. So Rob, we should have a few. So in the next few weeks there may be still some in stock. So hopefully not too late. And here we have Jason suggesting that the phone box is a good idea. So thank you for the feedback. Jason, do you have any other suggestion on little kind of scenery objects that we can do for the model railway?
Yeah, so quite a few things happening with HEARNS Workshop, I guess. I mean, I've got the thing here that I've actually been working on for a while, which I don't think I've shown anyone. So this is a prototype that's in action at the moment.
Ooh.
So 1/12 scale figure, something a little bit different. So I've just got it on some stands, just painted up the skin tones. So actually, it looks a bit nude there, doesn't it? It's not actually nude, but it's quite a nice figure. So we're just making sure that it all goes together very nicely. So here we've got the waist there as well. So by the time it's all together, it's going to be in quite an action anime style pose. And hopefully we'll get that all together in the next few weeks. So,
is that the one with the big sword?
Yes. So you got swords here.
Oh yeah,
Chunky sword, and then you got the samurai sword. Then I guess
another HEARNS Workshop product, hopefully in the coming months.
So yeah, so working towards that. Let me see if I can get a hair on. So it goes on, maybe not. Oh, that might give you a better idea. So just see if it focuses on that. Give you an idea of the hairstyle. So the fit is really good.
That's really nice.
So far, it's all fitting together very well. So I think the prototype's pretty good. Yeah, something a bit different in the range.
Definitely. So hopefully the first one of a series that we're going to do. As we've been designing this, we realized the challenges of creating a model kit, actually modular. So along the way, we started this actually during the previous lockdown, for a matter of fact, and over time we've been tweaking it. So hopefully we are close to an end result, actually. So they'll be actually.
Yeah. Working towards something.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Got this one here. My wife brought it for the box. It's a current project.
Look at it.
BQS.
So, how's your internet, Warwick?
I don't know. It seems to be working. For some reason, it doesn't work when a train goes past. Don't ask me why.
He's looking pretty clear at the moment.
It looks clear.
Yeah.
Have you got anything to show us while you're clear?
Trains must not be running. I don't know.
Okay.
Something. But I'm back. Heath. So
Good. So Con is suggesting a Flinders Street Station diorama could be a cool project.
It would be.
Yeah. Sure. That would be a big project too.
Can we never turn into a robot?
What, Flinders Street Robot?
Yeah, if the station just turns into a robot.
Absolutely.
You can do the animatronics. I'll paint it.
I'll want to. Move on.
Well, I'm reading a comment here from Ian in relation to Brett t-shirts, and I've got actually some good news here.
Absolutely good news.
So
hey!
We have today the same t-shirt for sale, actually, this way. There you go.
In orange.
Nice. To jump to the bigger screen. Here we go. All right, so this is the same t-shirt that Brett is wearing tonight, and we have it the orange, which is more the traditional HB racing colors, but we'll have them in different colors to become all ready to go, pre-packaged, like this.
We have that in t-shirt and hoodies as well, Nick.
And we have the hoodie as well, absolutely.
And the hoodies as well. And I think we actually got some Team Yokomo HEARNS Racing ones made as well, didn't we?
Here we go. That's it. So that's more. We had this for a few years now. We updated the logo with the new HEARNS Racing logo that we have since late last year, and again ready to go for sale now. So arrived today. And talking about t-shirts and shirts, and we finally received some really rare Yokomo Racing Factory jumpers. I think it's only jumpers. Is that correct, Brett?
Yeah, that's correct. And there's only 4.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, two different styles.
For some reasons, it's very hard to get any Yokomo t-shirts and jumpers. So we managed to get 2. Hopefully we get more, but we haven't had them for probably 2 years. And this looks like it's one with a zip all the way down. So very, very nice little jumper. So if you got there racing, it could be a nice one too.
We've had lots of people ask about it recently, particularly the jumpers and hoodies, because coming into winter. So
Absolutely. So, what's next? We have slot cars, or we have the Vanquish. Let's see if anyone has any preference. Got lots of slot cars actually.
Let's go to slot
Yeah,
car.
we do.
All right, so Brett has taken the two best slot cars we had. My preferred. All right, you go first. So that's my favorite one. The three-wheeler.
The three-wheeler. The Reliant Robin.
Does it go around corners?
Well,
Not very well.
according to the Stig, no. If anybody's seen Top Gear on BBC, they would know that no, the Reliant Robin doesn't. Probably more famous for us Australians back in Mr. Bean. That was his arch enemy, wasn't it? The Reliant Robin.
Yes.
So this one here is in the golf colours. I suppose made famous in the 60s by Steve McQueen. Yeah.
I like the irony.
Anybody got anything else to add?
No, that's a very unique slot car. I guess it won't go around the track too well, but it's very much a collectible. So for those that are new to this kind of on the slot cars, there's new releases coming every few months actually, and they're all very limited edition. So very nice to collect them. So there's probably, I don't know, 40, 50 every year, 30, 40, 50 every year, and very limited edition. So they're collectible very much. They're quite well finished.
They're very well finished, aren't they? They're actually quite reasonably priced if you just want like a nice scale model. Most people that buy these never even take them out of the box, do they? They have no intention of ever running them.
No, they end up being on the
next
shelf.
step up in a model resin or a die-cast resin, really, the next entry point really is $300, isn't it?
That's right.
Fair point. Fair point.
And the next one that I've got to have a look at. Look at this one. Does anybody know what would make this very unique in this day and age?
It's got tires.
Well, it could have nasty cigarettes.
Cigarette advertising, yeah.
Hey, you wouldn't see anything advertised with cigarettes in 2021. But here you go. Scalextrics have done it, haven't they? I don't know how they've managed to do it. Obviously, it's an historic car, the E30 BMW.
Classic.
But in that livery is definitely very, very collectible in this day and age.
Yes.
So that's the two. That's the two I've grabbed. Who else grabbed slot cars today?
No, I got some.
All
What
right.
did you get, Peach?
Hey, well,
What did you get?
what's that?
You took yours out.
He's playing already with it.
Yeah, let's go that way. So, got a McLaren.
That is definitely McLaren, isn't it?
Yeah. So original early F1. I don't even really see. I mean, it's got some really detailed livery on this. I can't work it out. It's sort of like X-ray type. I don't know. I can't work it out. Well, the front looks like it's got a duck on it. It's either a duck or a lizard because they're related. But the graphics are really, really crisp. And this one's got some really nice interior detail too.
Of course, the main thing about the McLaren F1s was that the driver was actually in the middle position, wasn't he?
Yes, dead centre. You see him there?
Yeah.
See his helmet?
with and two passengers either side at the back.
Yep. So real nice. So this is very much one of those types that you can quite easily use as like a die-cast scale model, isn't it? You don't have to drive some around, but it looks good around track too. Even the tire markings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that one, and then something totally different. Different era.
What is that? A Corvette?
Yeah, so you can sort of see, look how nice the Juco is. The reflections coming off that really, really smooth, glossy finish. It's got a much more simple livery, of course, because it's a much earlier type of car. Well, it looks pretty mean at that angle. super long nose. And on the rear end. So nice. So what's this again? So that's a L88 Stingray. So again, super nice detail. I mean, just look at those intake grills on the side there, and also the exhausts along the sides as well. It's on both sides. So real nice. Yeah.
Which ones did you grab, Nick?
Okay, so first one I have up here is a Chevrolet here.
What is that, a Camaro?
Camaro, yeah, let me put it on camera so everyone can see it this way. Here we go. 1973 Chevrolet Camaro. And again, I have the feel that this year, you know, the quality and the details have stepped up once again. You can see the driver in here. It's really crisp. You can see the gear stick in there. I don't think you can see in the camera, but it's really crisp and really well finished. This is really shiny too, so really good finish on the bonnet. You can see there, probably hard on camera, but really shiny and well finished. Got the exhaust pipe down
looks
here.
like they've really stepped it up.
Definitely. And yeah, Brett was saying these are perfect collectibles. Really, you probably wouldn't use them. It would be fun to use them too. But yeah, this is something you can keep on your on the shelf and collect them all. So this is the first one I have. We have a few actually. So that's the first one.
If you did want to run them on the track and didn't want them to fall off, what could you use?
I know exactly where you're going with that. So
what could you use?
Try some traction compound on these cars, like we do on go-karts. Here we go. Here we go. TDP.
Sticky.
So I guess to put some context, we use the traction compound on our racing buggies and touring cars to get more traction. And we think that we can use it on slot cars because what it does is effectively softening the rubber, and you should get a lot more grip. So it'll be up for the slot cars as well.
And you could get a lot of little tires out of this one model. This would be enough to do enough stock car tires to last your whole childhood, I think.
I think so. Let me put this back up here because this is probably one of the most exciting releases for us here in Australia, actually. And Rob already noticed that.
Oh, XC Falcon.
Yes. So Scholastic every year releases, I think, 4, 5, 6 different cars with Australian cars, which are unique to our market. And this is one of those again. So we can focus up on this. There we go. Very nice again. Cool. So next one is a very different car actually. Let's see if anyone can guess this one. Actually,
oh, nice.
That's a classic.
DB9?
Bit older.
DB4?
Getting closer.
DB3?
You missed it, I think. You missed the only one. So this is a Aston Martin BD5. Very interesting color here. It's a kind of a champagne color, I would say.
Oh, it's not silver.
It's silver. Is really kind of almost goldy silver.
Wow.
Quite nice. Here we go. Who wants to see more? We've got a couple of more here. Going back in time. That's a Lotus. That's an old Lotus. Whoops. Here we go. That's an old Lotus. These are really interesting. I don't know how they're going to drive if you actually use them, but the finishing is really nice. Look at the suspension arms at the back. You can see. Let's see if I can close enough here. Need to stop moving. No. There we go. Very thin wheels. This will definitely need traction compound. And yeah, quite nice little model. Very good. All right.
I'm feeling a bit left out. I'm feeling like the Scalextric Santa didn't leave anything on my doorstep this morning.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. So Bruce is asking if he stocked the NSR, which is a brand of slot cars. We don't, unfortunately. They are very nice slot cars car actually, but no, we don't have that brand, unfortunately. We have mostly Carrera and Scholastic and SCX at the moment. Andy is here. So Andy, we actually filming just now a video on the 3D GP 3D car. Actually, BJ has been building one in the last few days, I think.
I have been. Yeah, I finished off the front bulkhead at the moment and mounted the servo.
Yes. So we'll once we can start filming again in store, we'll have this resuming and happening again. So it will be a few weeks where we should have a video of the build of the GB 3D, fully 3D printed car actually. And Con is asking if you have a GT 164, mini GT 164 in store. Now we don't have any 64 scale at the moment.
64, yeah, no.
I don't think we have many 64 scales, but something we should look into. All right, so meanwhile, I think I should talk about the Vanquish.
Yes.
BJ, you may have a bit more context in the history of this car, or Marlin, Brad, you probably know more than me what happened to this car and why is it called VQS and not Vanquish, perhaps?
I actually don't. BJ would be a wealth of knowledge on this car, I'm sure.
I don't know about the name though. So initially it came out as a Vanquish. Why they changed it to VQS, not too sure. But occasionally you see the re-releases, they'll change something a little bit. And it could be because it's got some upgrades on it that they felt they didn't want to confuse with the original Vanquish, because the front end's got the upgraded aluminium hubs, and it's also got a new style universal drive shafts, I think. So unlike the old ones, which are like an old school uni with a square joiner in the center, they've got a sort of low profile type of universal joint. So perhaps that's a reason why they've sort of changed the name. So you don't want to confuse as such. But apart from that, the rest of it looks original. So it's got the all the drive gear from the Avanti. Quite revolutionary at the time because of very narrow gearboxes and very low profile. The diffs went away from bevel gears. They were straight cut planetary type gears, which was different again. And I think there's a ball diff, a center ball diff in the car. Yep. And then all the individual suspension components, because all the arms were ball jointed, they were a little bit fragile on the Avanti. It looked really great, but the threaded parts were all aluminium, and quite often when you hit something, they would bend. So particularly where Nick's showing you the front end, you'll have it all bending backwards. That's a good angle too, because you can see the gold hubs on each end. So originally they weren't aluminium like that. They were a die-cast aluminium, so quite a bit rougher looking. But it's got the plastic suspension arms, which are the great thing. So they're exactly the same things that were on the Egress. And understand the Egress is getting re-released, is it, later this year?
In July, I think it should be coming.
Right. Okay. So the Egress is basically the next level up. So the Egress was the top-end car. But I think for your average use, because if you got an Egress, I don't know if you really want to drive it that much, even though it's designed for competition use. I think the best sort of hobbyist type version out of all those versions of the Avanti would be the Vanquish. It's got all plastic. Even though plastic is considered to be cheaper, it actually will outperform and outlast the fiberglass type and aluminium screw type suspension of the Avanti. So if you want the performance of the Egress, although it's going to be a bit more flexible, but if you want something a bit tougher, then this is definitely the chassis to choose. It's got nice shocks as well. So they're not the aluminium shocks of the Avanti, although I think the classic yellow CVAs are a very, very good shock anyway for the time. They work very, very well.
They're actually really smooth, actually. I was quite impressed because being in such an old car, it does have a really good feel. So the front end, it does have two O-rings at the base here, and it feels really smooth. The rear one, which is longer, does have a bit more space. It does have a very I would say almost modern sandwich between two plastic rings and three O-rings, which makes it really really smooth actually. And the diaphragm, it's got very nice consistency. I didn't even know that back then they were using already diaphragms. So I guess you can't see very much in the video here, but it does. Actually, let's see if you can see here. It feels really.
So the CVA shocks became the standard shock that Tamiya had on all their cars from after that. So they're basically three sizes. You have your short and then your long, which was basically like the ones on there. So you get your shorts on the front and the longs at the back, and then eventually they had another size, which was the mini, which was shorter. So they came out on touring cars as well, and I think on some of the front end on some of the buggies as well. But even back then, they had choices of different pistons.
Yes.
And a lot of people at the time didn't know how to use pistons, but they included them anyway. And I think they were one of the first to have the what do you call it? We have a thin wafer across one side of the piston, so that it actually rebounded quicker than it compressed. And that was highlighted in the Fox as well. So they had that option of building the shocks, which was quite advanced at the time.
That's right. So that's good. And I can see some comments here. Daniel's asking if this is for sale now. Yeah, we have some in stock still. And
we're actually doing this one up as an exclusive car, aren't we, Nick?
And this one specifically, absolutely. So we're building it as an exclusive release. And so we're quite special, actually. So we just built the chassis, but we're going to do something special like we did for the TRS6 around Christmas last year. So that was a nicely unique finish TRX6. So we're going to do something quite unique here. It's going to be brushless. I can see someone else asking. So Daniel's suggesting this could be nice brushless. So definitely we will have a brushless system. We are going to play an Aeromax Dash 21.5 Outlaw. So that'll be really, really quick and powerful. And some modern electronics. So it'll be quite nice. And we haven't decided yet if you're going to do something special with the body, some special finishing. I think Marlin was having some good idea there on painting up some of the plastic, maybe with some special colors or whatsoever. So that could be an option too. So if you have any suggestion what we could do special on this car, please put in the comment, because we're quite nice. So this is going to be really special at the end. So it's exclusive, pre-built, ready to run. And what else? Yes, we can point out, sway bars. Those that are familiar with the classic Tamiya Hornet and Grasshoppers and so forth. This is a huge evolution with sway bars going through at the back to the camber rod here. As you can see, there's a sway bar, and at the front as well. The front is quite interesting as it goes into the arms actually. So let's see if you can see here. You get the sway bar that goes across and enters the arm. As you can see, the shot up here.
Make it all robust.
That's right. So let me see in which angle I can show you this. Here we go. You should see the opposite arm that lifts a little bit.
Yeah.
It's probably hard to see on camera, but you should be able to see a little bit lifting. Here we go. And that's the effect of the sway bar. Sway bar is quite an important component on racing cars to keep them flat and be more responsive, and there's a tuning component as well. What else? What I find interesting is the motor is actually it's not vertical, it's a bit of in an angle. You can see this way. Let's see. So the motor is in an angle tilting this way, actually, like this. Not really entirely sure what was the benefit of that, but I guess I was probably to fit everything into this very complex gearbox. There's quite a few gears. We'll have some photo going out on social media this week, next week actually, on the build of this car. There's quite a few parts into this gearbox, and including a very nice diff. Don't know if you're familiar with how the diffs were made, but there are quite a few components in the diff of this car. It's a nice photo that we plot later on in the week. So There it is. Tamiya BQS.
Yeah, it's cool.
Really cool, actually. So very good. So let's see if anyone has any more questions out here. Warwick, do you have anything else you want to show us, Marlin?
I've got a few things if people are interested, scale model wise.
Yeah, of course.
As people may or may not know, we got a restock of Green Stuff World. Week before last, I don't know. Time is irrelevant at the moment. 2 weeks ago, maybe. So I got some to try. I got some to try because that's how I roll. And so I got the Intensity inks, and also the Metal and Alchemy metallics range, which is quite crazy. There's there's about 25 different shades of metallic.
Yeah, there's a lot of different colors.
Like you can't get that in any other range of paints. Like it's quite crazy. So I got one to try, and you'll be happy to know that they go on very smoothly. They do benefit from thinning with a little bit of water just to retard them a little bit because they do dry quite quickly. But very, very pigment rich. They go on really nice. I don't know that they've quite persuaded me away from enamel metallics for my spot metallics, but I'm just going to give them more of a go, and I kind of hope they do outperform the enamels in the long term, because the color range is just crazy. So that was really cool. I tried that out. And the Intensity inks, I've been curious about inks recently, because as most people into sci-fi scale modeling know, Bandai plastic just really hates enamels. You get some enamel thinner into a joint where it can't get out, and it'll react with the plastic and it'll crack it. And because I don't build Bandai super much these days, I keep forgetting that this happens, and I'll put some panel line wash or something into a joint and just going, no, it's okay, I'm being gentle, and then I'll come back to it the next day and like the armor will have fallen off or something like that. So so keen to try the inks as an alternative, and I'm trying different. I wouldn't necessarily recommend using these as a wash straight out of the bottle, because they're quite intense. So watering them down and adding some surface tension stuff also helps them flow a bit nicer, and not sort of pull up as much, I guess. So I'm having good fun experimenting with that, and it does. I don't know. So this is. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to see it too well. Yeah. But
so you've used that.
Yeah. So this is like the sepia ink over the Tamiya metallic orange, and it gives it a bit of definition.
It's quite subtle.
Yeah, well, the thing is with the inks is that you can decide how subtle or otherwise it is, right? Because if you
the ink is basically transparent, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See that? You can see the definition around those parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works really well. I'm being super happy with it. And so this is part of my palette cleanser project. This is the Zagok high grade Bandai thingy. I'm doing some hairspray chipping.
Oh, so that's the scale 75 metallic, yeah.
That is, yeah, that's one of the metallics, and then with the ink over the top.
Yep.
Just to make it pop more. But yeah, you can see how yeah, you can see how sort of intense they are. They've got a really good luster to them.
Yeah.
So
That's good because really good quality metallics and acrylics haven't been very easy to find.
No, they haven't. I'd put them. I think the gold standard for metallics in acrylics would probably have been Citadel up to this point. But I think the Metal and Alchemy just takes it to that next level. And also the color range just sort of seals the deal. So if you need some metallics and you need and you prefer acrylics, you know, there you go to pretty much. So yeah, highly recommend those. And yeah, we're doing the next sort of thing I've got is we're sort of plugging away now that we're not in the shop at plugging away at doing more HEARNS Workshop and 9-step stuff. And the latest releases this weekend will be some micro pop rivets, which should be really popular with the 112 car crowd, who have kind of got in contact with us and said, hey, you know, we really need these rivets to add that extra something to our 112 scale cars. So we did those, and then the next cab off the rank. I don't know if you'll be able to see these because, like everything, they're microscopic. Yep.
Oh wow!
And this is a bit selfish from my perspective because for my sci-fi kits, I like adding pipes and hoses. Just to add a bit more visual interest. But one of the dilemmas that I had was that normally I just drill a hole and stick it in there, and even for machining Krieger kits, that's kind of accepted as standard practice. But in reality, if you're putting a cable into a panel or something, it goes through a cable gland, and that's what these are. So I've done 5 different sizes, 3 different variants. You drill them yourself, so you can decide what size cable goes into them. But I think they're just a nice little touch. I mean, the car and the motorcycle guys can use them, but also if you're scratch building or just adding a bit of detail to your sci-fi kits. And you like adding hoses and cables like I do, these are a bit of a no-brainer. Definitely worth picking up and giving a try. They should be available tomorrow.
No,
on the HEARNS website.
I think I just popped the link now, so that you can buy them. They're available now, actually. So.
Oh, they're going live. Yep.
Yeah. So really cool. So Nick dropped these. Sorry, Santa dropped these off this morning on the doorstep, and so I'm going to, I'm just going to do maybe, I don't know yet, maybe just a PDF or it might be like just a series of Facebook posts where I just kind of outline how to use these and how to, how easy they are to basically add to your kits or your kit bash or whatever. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited to give those a bit of a crack. What else have I got lying around? Oh yeah, I'm in the middle of this guy.
Oh, look at that! I thought that was close to finish.
What's his name?
It's a cat.
And what animal is this actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my crate. This is a machining Krieger, obviously, but this is a bit of a kit bash because it's very hard to source the one with the with the gun barrel. They normally have like a Gatling kind of deal going, and I didn't particularly like the Gatling. I really like the gun. So I got this off, I don't know, one of the Tamiya German self-propelled guns, 135th scale.
Yeah, Marder, wasn't it? Marder 3 or something?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it's a Marder. Yeah. So yeah, I basically just stole that and added it in.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so it's lacquer paint, but the whitewash finish I decided to do with acrylics. So that's so lacquers and then hairspray chipping, and then most of the whitewash is actually hand painted. So I basically just pretend I was in the war and I had a bucket of white paint and a mop, and I literally slathered it on. And I'm finding more and more that if you want to imitate the effects of the paint effects of what happens to things in reality, then paint it the same way. And I was really happy with the way that turned out. I supplemented some of it because acrylic tends to want to come off in sheets. So I supplemented a few bits with some airbrush work just to feather some edges. But now that the whitewash is done, basing, and I need to get some more weathering on it because obviously the whitewash is quite fresh. Yeah.
No, it looks good. I think
I'm looking forward to finishing that off.
I think it looks better than the original. The gun itself has got all the recoil and gas struts in it, which I find even more interesting.
Yeah, it's got a bit more detail. It kind of suits the Maschinen Krieger aesthetic as well, because the models tend to have busy areas and then areas that are supposed to be cast or something like that are quite sparse. Yeah. So you get these kind of areas where there's not a whole lot of detail, but some good curves, and then to juxtapose that, you have this busy kind of front section or this busy rear section, and a smooth front section. And that, if you have a look at the Maschinen Krieger stuff, the way that Koyokiyama juxtaposes all those little areas, areas of clean and areas of busy. Yeah, it kind of does suit it. So I was happy with that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the current state of play with me at the moment. Always experimenting with paint. I was messing around with the SMS stuff with the cat, and I'm playing around with the inks and the alchemy. I'm also looking forward to trying some of this as well. I got one to try.
A little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, the Scale 75 Soilworks oil washes. I'm going to give those a crack over the next week and sort of report back and let people know how they perform and how's the best way to use them. Because, they're a new product for us, and washes are typically made of enamels, and I know theoretically that oils are kind of a similar beast, but I'm curious to see how these perform compared to enamel washes. So, lots of experimenting to be done. One more week of lockdown to go.
Indeed.
Been busy.
Very good. All right. Well, we are well over an hour, actually. We've done really good tonight. Done a long one again. So, has anyone else got anything else to present? Or we wait for some questions? Is anyone out there watching having any questions? We'll give... Oh, BJ's got something. There we go.
That's something a bit cute. So this is the Hello Kitty collaboration with Gundam for their anniversary. So had that here, and we just got it at this stage here. So my wife's been building this.
Wow.
So very cute indeed. So got Hello Kitty, got the original RX-78, and after this we're going to mash them together, and you'll be able to put them together to make this big version here. So you probably get a better idea from here. Oh,
side.
So yeah, brilliant. So very nice. So we've got a lot more stock of this coming in. So look out for it because it has been pretty rare. But yeah, there'll be plenty soon. And don't miss out, because I don't think they'll be doing many runs of this again. Yeah,
And there's the Zaku versions as well, isn't there, Beach?
yeah, that's right. The Zaku ones as well. But I think the Hello Kitty is definitely the one to have. I mean, yeah,
I agree.
such a classic. You know, it's got a little apple there too. And then when you mash it together, you get a very angry Hello Kitty.
What happens to the apple?
The apple gets eaten and becomes Hello Gundam.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, we have a question for you, Brett, here. So
Yes.
Ian is asking, since you're at home, what's your favorite RC tool and product that you have?
Ah,
Definitely, it will be close to hand.
Brett's our favourite RC tool.
That's right. And we have to see. Can you see that? Can anybody guess what that is? That's
It's
an
an
M3 taper tap. Now, if you've built anything like a Hot Bodies buggy or a 8-scale car with really hard plastics, so the Hot Bodies range is notoriously stiff plastics and very long screws. It helps to really, if you tap it first, gives you a really good feel on the screws. So I like to tap all the threads as I go along. Yeah, and things just like the diff casings and things like that, you can feel when it tightens up without just binding the whole way and over tightening. So, and it lets you work on your cars with just your hands. You don't need a hammer drill to work on your car, your buggy, or whatever. It doesn't always have to be 1/8. It can be 1/10 scale as well. But yeah, no, these taper taps are fantastic. And probably the next best is the Aeromax shock, or the multi tool. Really good for putting on your ball cups, obviously holding your shock shafts without damaging them, and yeah, general rouse. You know, third set of mechanical hands. It's fantastic.
you use that for opening up all your crayfish and your crab as well.
Yeah, daily.
This.
No, definitely, and nut cracking as well.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I've got the same one here. I use this for my shocks, actually. It works really well. It not my second for me ever.
That's fantastic. So yeah, so that would be my favorite tool and assembly aid. Yeah. While we are talking a bit of while I'm on the big screen, I just want to touch base. A couple people, it's still going on about racing tires. You know, people are having the odd failure and this and that, and that. It's important for people to understand that the modern touring car 1/10 scale tire are very delicate. They're very soft, they're very squidgy, and they are prone to tearing and damaging if you're hitting things or running over dots or rolling your car, for example. So it's important that you're also checking the bead after every run, or even particularly before you run it. This tire is brand new out of the packet, and I would definitely go as far as gluing it before I run it, and probably every time I run it. It's just the current state of affairs. It's nothing faulty. That's the way the tires are these days. So you glue it before you use it and every run afterwards. So as painful as it is, I usually arm myself with 2 sets of tires on a race day, and I'll glue it. I'll run the car, and then I'll put another set on. While the next set's on, I'll glue the last set that I just run and constantly alternate it and keep on top of it. Because if you don't keep on top of it, the tire will tear off of the rim or blow out and causing you to not finish the race and destroy your tire. So your tire will then, in reality, should last 20 runs or until it blows out the inside. The death ring comes through, just runs out of rubber, and then lets the insert out. So that's something I just wanted to touch base on quickly. That's
Yeah,
my
it's really
two.
important. Yeah, I agree because
No, it's very important because
coming
it's
up.
not something. It is. It's not just isolated to sweep tires. I think it's all the current tires, and it's because they're so soft and got so much traction now. And people just have to learn to handle them like such. You know, it's the compromise of going fast. So you just have to keep on top of it. Keep them glued, keep them checked, and they'll last until they wear out.
Yeah, and also the performance of the car will be a lot more consistent because if the tires is coming and glue a little bit, it will start to roll a lot more. And so you may have this effect where when you're turning, the tires will come off. Let me see if I can. I'll pop on this side because I was having a problem a few years back, and someone was showing me that if obviously the tires is unglued, that will roll a lot more. And so
Exactly.
the footprint of the tire will be different, and perhaps you could even have the plastic rim touching the asphalt, and therefore your car will spin out. So even if one of the 4 tires is not really glued too well, you're going to have issue with the car spinning out, and that's never a good feel, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And you can see this one here. Oh, there's another new product that came into store this week.
Ah,
Has anyone
the
seen
bag.
that? The Yokomo
pillows.
the factory car bag. Well, it's a pillowcase. It's got my BD10 in there. Now you can see on these tires, if I get right in close, these have been run about 8 batteries in modified, and they have been glued and glued and glued after every run. And you can see just slightly on the sidewall. And these cars straight off the track, and that will have to be glued again. But this has been run in modified. It's got a 5.5 turn Orca motor in it. And these are actually 32 compound tires, and these have had at least 8 batteries. And constant gluing and maintenance has made them last this long, and they will probably last at least another 6 batteries, I would say.
So Bruce has asked a question: what glue do you use for doing such?
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
That is by far the best high glue that I've come across in my 25 years of playing with RC cars. Now, what makes it a great super glue or a great CA is that I find that it wicks or it runs. So you literally will just put a drop into the groove or into the bead, and you will see it like run around the wheel, and that is fantastic. So that wicking capabilities of that Yokomo super glue, that Yokomo tire glue, is fantastic.
Definitely. Very good. All right. Are we all ready for weekend?
Ready for weekend.
We are ready for the weekend.
For sure.
Very good. So let's give another minute if there is any more questions. Otherwise, I think Brett can go and keep building his GT, or Tom's
That's
GT
right.
actually.
Let's see if we can get it finished for next Friday's show.
Oh, that's a challenge.
Well, realistically,
Nice.
between now and then, it will probably realistically take about 8 to 10 hours to get it full up and running.
Very good.
You'll have it finished by Monday, then, surely.
I was expecting that too, but doesn't sound like it. Fantastic. All right. Well, so we are hoping to be live again next week from the shop, which will mean that we are out of lockdown. So finger crossed that's the case. And we have the usual video coming on YouTube every day. So throughout the day there is a video tutorial unboxing. What do you have, BJ, coming this week?
So let's see. So yesterday we had the review of the 112 scale Tamiya 934 Porsche, that classic Jägermeister one, which everyone loves. So it's good having a really in-depth look. And then today we had an introduction of some of the Mac kits. So Warwick had touched on his particular Mac kits that he's building, and myself as well. So that'll give you a bit of introduction on what new came in. And then we've got what do we have? few more open boxes. I can't remember now, but something interesting every day. I'm pretty sure I've got Marlin's there explaining about inclines and declines for train sets with risers. Yeah, every day it's something different.
Brilliant. So feel free to comment on the videos when you watch them. Any questions we can, that will be really helpful so we can get on to doing some more explanations. And I guess that's all for today. So this is one more episode from home of Earns at Home. So thank you for joining us. It's very different. Hopefully you enjoyed this. So Brett is going away drinking his TDK, traction compound. It's very attached to that bottle.
Don't drink it. Definitely don't drink it.
Don't drink it, no. Definitely not. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching us. Have a good weekend. And see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.